for live streaming. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, dude, he said he'd be willing to help out. And I know what the problem was now. Somebody changed the settings to our security to private.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, right, dude. You're probably, you know what? Extreme ownership, Matthew. Seriously, man.
I can guarantee you that I
Yeah.
definitely did not.
Well, somebody did. Okay, we're back. This is okay. This is the final time this is happening, guys. We swear we're sorry. Lots of technical difficulties today, only because something happened within our settings, with our live stream settings, where we put a
She
security.
got a sucker, Regan. She
A
got a sucker.
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 She probably has no idea who I am now since I shaved.
Hi, Egan.
Oh,
Hi.
she knows who you
She
are.
knows. Wow, I'm very impressed. I was told though, because I shaved my mustache. Now I look a lot younger than I used to.
You do look a little bit younger, but like not that much younger.
Well, I was
Yeah.
freaking killing it, dude. Matthew, today huge day in the sports world of the NFL. What's your take on the whole pickups, drops, all that jazz? What a day Monday has been for us all. Um, I mean, are you
Oh
surprised?
man, am I surprised? To be honest with you, I really thought that the Vikings were going to keep Kirk Cousins. I
Mm.
really did.
I thought
I
so too,
thought,
dude. I was very
man,
surprised about that. That was a huge surprise for me.
yeah, big surprise to be honest with you. So, um, kind of a little bit thrown off by that. That was kind of one of those, okay, it actually happened type feelings. But then I'm also thinking, I don't know if I want to be a Vikings fan now that Kirk Cousins is not there.
Well, dude,
Kirk
you were
Cousins is a
acting.
good Christian
Today's
guy.
messages, you seem like a Vikings fan because you were asking all these scenarios. You're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Who are we going to pick up? You're using those types of words when talking to me.
But I was also doing that with a lot of other teams too.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, that's where my problem is, guys. I have no loyalties.
Well, this is going to be a big year. The Eagles picked up Saquon Barkley. Um, this is interesting.
Who? Who?
I don't
Who?
know how good Saquon's going to fit in this whole new schematic of uh, Philadelphia. I think he's lived in New York and he's been the nice guy. Now he's going to a city where, and I think a lot of the people is just rough. It's going to be a rude awakening to the guy. I don't think he'll last. I think this isn't going to be good for him. Um,
I think it's gonna. So this is what I said. Look, Saquon Barkley has not been proven to be a good running back in the league yet. He can't
right.
finish a season. So they're paying pretty good top dollar for a running back.
Well,
But I mean,
and
kind
this,
of.
I mean, to counter that, I mean, I agree. I don't think he is the best, but to counter that is that he has been the main man. He has been to the go guy. There hasn't been anyone else. He has been the star in New York. There hasn't been really, they haven't had really a quarterback or a receiving group to really help him not take on the workload. This could be a a possibility for him. I mean, it could be good, but I mean, I don't see it being well for him, especially with Travis Kelce out and
Kelsey.
he or
Jason Kelsey.
Jason Kelce.
How dare you disrespect him?
And that guy, their main offensive lineman who led the team. I think he was the core leader of that team. He really was what made the Eagles so good. I truly believe that. We'll see next season. But yeah, I don't think this is a good pick for Philly. And then I don't know that I was telling you about the guy at my work who is bragging. All he can do is just brag about Philadelphia.
We got Saquon Barkley.
You see who we picked up? You see what we did? We picked up the guy from what did he say? From some D lineman from what team am I thinking of? Golly. New York Jets. You see who we picked up from the New York Jets, huh? Pretty good.
The Giants picked up somebody from the New York Jets?
Yes, the DN. Bryce Hoff.
Yeah.
3-year, $51 million.
Yeah, well. I mean, the Texans they're cleaning house too.
The Texans are?
They're going to clean house is what I'm trying to say.
They're going to clean house when
they're going to freaking clean house, man. They got rid of Devin freaking Singletary. They're going to go pick up someone even better like Derrick Henry or Aaron Jones.
Dude, I'm thinking that Vikings might pick up Aaron Jones. Since they've gotten rid of their Alexander Madison, they are trying to figure out a good. I mean, they're making moves on defense for sure. That's really what they're doing, adding linebackers. But we got to figure out QB. I think that's a huge. We have the best wide receiver, arguably the best wide receiver in the league. And you need somebody to throw him the ball consistent or accurately every time, so he doesn't have to.
You know who they have? Joshua Dobbs, baby.
I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? What is Joshua Dobbs? Maybe we should give him a call on live air. Right?
See what he's doing. Hey, man, I saw that Kirk Cousins is gone. Are you going to take the reins? What?
Hey, you're live on the Goof and Goober Show. How you doing, Josh?
Did my agent speak to you? Yeah, we spoke to you and your agent previously.
Did he not talk to you?
Question.
Quick questions.
Just making sure that you know or we know. Give us your insight. Or they got Jaron Hall. Jaron Hall's.
I don't know about Jaron.
I don't know about him.
I'm not completely sold on him. I mean, I like a little bit of what I saw last season before he went out. In his consistency to want to be good, pretty much.
I mean, but you can't really base him off,
right?
You know,
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I like what I saw, but I wasn't 3 games. It was 1 game. And it wasn't even a full game. He was not it. He was in 1 game.
He was in 3 games.
He started 1 game.
Oh, he started 1 game. Gotcha. I didn't know that you had clarifying points onto that. Yeah, he started 1 game.
But then he didn't even finish. It was a partial start. He didn't even finish that. That's when he went out.
He got 10 attempts.
And then
that is plenty. All he needs is 1 game, man. All he needs is 1 game. That's it.
I don't know about that. Let's see. Where is Jim Hall? So BYU. It's just. I don't know, dude.
Round pick 164.
Definitely not Nick Mullins. I mean, freaking Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins actually started on like really good playtime though.
He started on really good playtime. What do you mean?
Like he actually didn't just have garbage minutes. He actually had playtime.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like him. I don't think he was that good when he was playing. Yeah, I agree. He did have playing time, and that's what I don't like about him. I don't like his face,
Hold
and
on
I don't
one
like
second, Caleb.
his play time. This is one of the things that I just never liked about him. I mean, let's look at his stats from 2023. He had 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. QB rating of 88.4. Completion rate 67.6. That's not what I want. We got to pull here. We got to go to NFL Network stats. I believe he started at least four games. I think he came in later on he started with the Raiders. He played later. So he lost against the Bengals 26-33. He had how many attempts? 33 attempts for 26 completions. That's not bad for 303 yards. He averaged 9.2, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks. That was his highest rating of the year with 99.9. Let's pull this up here. What is that rating though? 26. And that would be that's not bad. Actually, that's 79% for his first start against the Bengals, but still lost it by a field goal. Then he went to the Lions. It's 22-36 for 411 yards, the most yardage he had for that game, but had his lowest passer rating of 79.5. Went to Packers, lost to the Packers 10-33.
Who did?
This
are you
is
talking about?
Nick Mullins, his first 3 games that he started for us. He was how many? 6. He had 1, 2, 4, 5. We'll only count those 3 games. He had 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in those 3 games he started. He averaged, let's pull this up here. Where's my calculator? So he had 33. We'll just 26. This is the completions he had. Plus 22. Plus the 13.
I will say Nick Mullins is a goofy looking fella.
He's a what?
He's a goofy looking fella.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about him is because he looks like an idiot. Okay, 61. He had 61 completions. How many attempts? 33 plus 36 plus 22. 91 attempts. So was 61. Divide that by 91. He had 67% completion rate. Not bad. Not bad. But the main problem with that is his interceptions his TD to interceptions, which 5-6. He fumbled it twice against the freaking Lions, too. I mean, that's not always his fault. He can blame that mostly on the O-line sometimes. But he had freaking 4 sacks with 4 interceptions in that game. That killed him. The freaking Lions killed him. But that's kind of crazy, dude. I don't know. I don't think Nick Mullins is the guy at all.
No, I don't think he's the guy either.
He's not what we want. It's just who do we get, dude? What do we want? That's what I'm curious. Like, I don't know, man.
I think. Look, I think either they go pick up a veteran who has been around the league a little bit. Maybe
Right.
we even we were texting earlier today.
Yeah.
A couple different options are even off the table. Jacoby Brissett's not there anymore. He's not available. He's with the Patriots now.
Oh, is he?
Yep, he's with the Patriots, signed with them. But I was seeing rumors that they were looking at Sam Darnold as an option.
Dude, I don't know about
Trey Lance as an option. Heck, I'd even be willing to say Jameis Winston could be an option. Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton.
Any of those guys.
James Winston, I don't like him just because he just the character aspect. I don't think he would.
You don't think he would fit Minnesota? Are you
No,
kidding me?
I don't think so, dude.
I don't know. I think.
I mean, Minnesota, like we're not. He's just a goofy guy, and it's just. I guess Randy Moss, but Randy Moss wasn't even that goofy as he is. Like Randy Moss, like he could be goofy because he was that good. Jameis Winston isn't that good. That's the thing. Jameis Winston, he's just not that good that he can be that goofy. And so I just don't think it's a good fit.
I don't think he was that bad.
No, I don't think he's like bad. I think he's all right, but I want somebody who, like Andy Dalton, I think
Jameis Winston is a gunslinger. He sends it. Whether he's just dumb or he just does. Like he just slings it. Like he's got 141 touchdowns to 99 interceptions, which is like not very good, but it's still not terrible. Like I've seen worse.
Well, what's Kirk Cousins TD? That'll kind of make me understand it a little bit better, I guess.
Kirk Cousins 270 to 110.
Yeah,
but he's also played more than Jameis.
Yeah, but and that
rate,
but the ratio isn't that ratio. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the amount. I'm looking at how close those numbers are to each other. Kirk Cousins is 270 to 110, right? Is that what you said?
270 to 110. Yep.
Yeah, and Jameis Winston's pretty much almost 50-50. From what I read.
It's almost 50-50.
Yeah.
Completion percentage for Kirk Cousins is 66.9%. Completion percentage for Jameis is 61%.
Okay.
61.2. QBR rating 87 to Kirk Cousins 98.
Yeah, that's where I think is the problem is, and 100% like completion rate. Yeah, you could dump it off to your running back though and keep up a 60.
He never had a running back for the Buccaneers.
He plays for St. Louis. Well, he was.
I know, but he wasn't. He has never started unless someone got hurt.
What's his
The only time he really started was 2021, even for a little bit.
Well, I know he was playing for the Bucs for a while before Tom Brady, I think. But I think it's just
So let's take the Buccaneers stats for a second. So we got 33 plus 19 plus 19 plus 28 plus 21. So he had 121 of his touchdowns were from the Buccaneers. 121.
That's majority of his touchdowns, I would assume, right?
-3. Yeah, that's majority of them. Minus 121 to 88.
121 to 88, did you say?
Yeah.
It's still pretty even. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit lower than what you would want, but it's
he's going to be a guy to take a shot. That's what he does.
And I don't think we want that right now. I think what we need is a guy that's not a gunslinger, but a guy who's a systemic guy, like a system guy. Like, I like Kirk because he was kind of that system guy. He was playing the system where I don't think of gunslingers. Yeah, that's cool. You can throw a ball like 70, 80 yards, but football's more than just how much you can throw.
Andy Dalton's
If
246 to 144.
He's what?
246 to 144.
That's way better than
It's like the same.
246 to 144.
Yeah.
It's almost 100 and like his total.
It's not even 2 times. Yeah, it's not even.
Yeah, but it's not 50, almost 50-50.
It's not 50-50.
Where's my calculator, dude? I gotta do this.
They're pretty dang close. 62% passer rating, 87 passer rating, 62% completion. So Andy Dalton and
horribly. But the main thing, but this is my main thing too, is that I don't think Minnesota needs that drama or that goofiness right now. I think they want to take this seriously, and they don't want freaking. I don't think they'll know what to do with Jameson if he comes in there and just.
What about?
So that's what I'd rather have Andy Dalton than James. I'm not saying I love Andy Dalton. I'm just saying I'd rather have Andy Dalton than Jameis Winston.
What about Jimmy Garoppolo? Jimmy G. Excuse me.
I think he's a broken record. I think he did great in the Patriots when he was playing there, but then people just was on this bandwagon of Jimmy G. And ever since then, he is just lost. I don't think he's as good as people are saying. I would say, though, like I was talking to you, Trey Lance could be a potential option. But I still would want that veteran QB in the room. But Josh McCown, I think, is our QB's coach for Minnesota, I believe.
Yep.
So we already have, I guess, through him, we have somewhat of a veteran in the QB room. But in the same way, I think there needs to be a player out there with the guys showing them how it's done. But
who's available?
That's available? The thing that I was thinking.
Joe Flacco?
Dude, is he still available? Is he actually?
I think he's with the Browns for maybe a year. But
yeah, I thought he signed a contract with the Browns.
Joe Flacco, let's see. Contract. No, he signed a 1 year.
Yeah.
So he could be available.
He could be. I think Cleveland's probably going to sign him again. I thought Ryan Tannehill.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Ryan Tannehill.
Matt Ryan, dude.
Yeah. I saw it.
Yeah. Dude, what if we took back Case Keenum?
Oh, oh, no way.
People love Case Keenum over here.
Case wasn't really that good.
Right, but people love him here because of the Minneapolis Miracle.
I say now that you brought it up, you bring Ryan Tannehill in. Bring Ryan Tannehill in.
Is he that good, though?
I mean, you go look at his stats. It's better than Jameis Winston. It's better than
what is his stats?
216 touchdown, 115 interceptions, 91 passer rating, 64% completion.
Yeah, I do it. That's similar to Kirk.
It now
fit Kirk.
I do think that Kirk throws the ball better than him.
Mm-hmm.
But
agreed.
Imagine this. Imagine we get a run game going, and you essentially pull a Titans back when the Titans are pretty good.
Isn't it Derrick Henry still out for free agent?
Derrick Henry is still up for free
Or
agency.
but that's the other thing. We could do Derrick Henry or Aaron Jones. Because Aaron Jones is now out. What are the free agent running backs still open? Because frick.
Here's what I think. You don't know? You don't know what I think? I think we go get Ryan Tannehill. Get it as an equal, right?
Mhm.
Get an equal to Kirk Cousins. Then you go out and you go get a budget running back, like a Leonard Fournette. Go get you a budget running back, Leonard Fournette, and then you go for the draft and see if you can get something squeezed out from a running back.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette's been and won a Super Bowl. I don't know why he didn't play this last year. I have no idea.
He got drafted by the Bills, I believe, or the Bills picked him
got
not
picked him up.
drafted. But he got picked up by the Bills, and they basically kept him on the practice squad for a while,
And did
and then
nothing.
they boosted him up to starting later in the season.
Oh my gosh. Or full circle.
Oh boy.
Full
Oh
circle.
boy.
We get Ryan Tannehill.
Okay.
Then you go out and you go pick up Dalvin Cook from the Jets.
No way, dude. Are we gonna
I
bring
think
back
Dalvin Cook is still better than Alexander Madison.
Well, we got rid of Alexander Madison.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad decision. I mean, we might get him lower than what we had him for sure.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is he still wanting it? That's my question. Is he still wanting it? Because he was. I guess he was behind Brees Hall, who's a top tier running back in the league right now. One of the best. Not saying he's a top tier ever, but he's one of the best. So yeah, he could probably do it. I mean,
It would be a budget,
it would be a budget for sure.
like an earn it back spot type thing. Or you go for Leonard Fournette, who's still I think Leonard Fournette is still pretty.
I think we just need to move on from the previous who we were before, and we need to figure out who we are now. And I mean, even as a fan, I would like to have a variety of players that I haven't really seen or had on the team. So like right now is just who do we want? And I don't want the same guys that used to be playing for us. That left us and left us because they didn't want to pay cut. Because now, like, I don't like Kirk because the guy just freaking left us for no reason. Really, just because he wanted more money.
Right.
I mean, Atlanta could be now a good team, depending on the coaching, as well as how the chemistry goes. I mean, last year they were one of the worst teams in the league. And they're now pushing more towards a better position, I guess, with Kirk. But I wouldn't, if Kirk wanted to come back, I wouldn't like it at all. There's that whole dilemma. I don't know. Anyways,
I think we found the solution though. They bring in Ryan Tannehill. He's a veteran. He's been in a system for a really long time. Then you go get yourself a budget. You go get yourself a budget running back. Cam Akers, I think, is still. Cam Akers is still with the Vikings. I think he just tore something, so he's still kind of in. So you got that speedy back. You maybe go get like a Leonard Fournette, pay really dirt cheap for him to be a heavy back for the Vikings. And you got your quarterback fix, and you got a decent running back option who's still better than Alexander Madison. And then you patch it up with the draft.
I mean, I did like Ty Chandler. I think Ty Chandler's a good backup. He did pretty good, especially when he started. Way better than Alexander Madison. I think Ty Chandler earned the starting position. But yeah, I think we still need that 1-2 punch. I think this is a running back committee type offense, and we need to keep him on the. I don't think we're going to have a powerhouse running back that does it all. So I think that's where we can maybe pick up. I mean, the thing is with Ty Chandler, I think he's more of that versatile back. So maybe we could get more of a bulldozer, north, south, north, kind of north and south type of running back. Maybe like AJ Dillon or something, but then like that. I don't know.
That could be. Or you could see how much Derrick Henry
How much he's willing to play around.
Yeah, how much he's willing to play around to be on a team. If you can imagine you get Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry on the same team.
Back at it, dude.
Back at it, boys. JJ, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison.
The King and JJ, man. Oh, man. Man, that would be sweet, actually. No doubt. But I think Derrick Henry's going to want a good amount for sure.
He's going to want to go to like Baltimore or something. Go to
something
a team
big,
that's going to potentially going to the Super Bowl. Just needs that one.
Who did Baltimore pick up for a running back last season? Didn't they pick like a
Gus Edwards?
Well, he's on free agency, is it? No, he's not.
Yeah, he's with he got picked up by the Chargers.
Oh.
They picked up a running back last year, I thought. Rookie.
I don't know.
Running back, Baltimore.
It's
He starts at 26. Oh, Keaton Mitchell was the RB1 to start the 2023 season
for
after
Baltimore,
tearing his ACL for Baltimore. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but then who?
Yeah, he had a knee injury, Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, but then who did they pick up after that? I feel like there was a big name running back. Can't remember.
J.K. Dobbins.
I don't remember. Anyways, now let's get this freaking potty started, dude. We talked about some of that stuff. Let's start this bad boy. Here comes the freaking intro.
Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride.
Welcome to the Goof and Goober Show, the podcast that brings you laughter,
That's the real
insight,
question.
and the quirkiest conversations. Join your hosts, Matthew and Regan, as they embark on a delightful journey through the realms of pop culture, humor, and everyday shenanigans. So buckle up and get ready for a roller coaster of fun and entertainment. Let's dive.
I knew it didn't last. Welcome back to the Goof and Goober Show, guys. It is me, your host, Regan Dvorak. I am joined with none other than the one, the only, the one that you guys know as one of the Goof and Goober guys. He is currently 6'1", 295 pounds. And has a second child on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you Matthew Leathers.
Hey guys, thank you for all the fun and the excitement of all the days of our lives. I just appreciate all the fun, and it's a great time.
Did you watch that soap opera growing up, The Days of Our Lives?
Days of Our Lives. Yeah, my mom used to watch that.
She did?
Oh yeah, gosh. All the time.
That so like
it was so stupid.
When I was homeschooled, that was like literally the only show on when we were at like doing homeschool, and that's what we'd watch when we were bored at school. And I remember one specific episode where like one of the girls was like demon possessed, like, and she was like a doll, if I remember correctly. And I mean, it was horrible, like cameras angle. You knew it was fake, even as a kid. But that's just engraved in me.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know how many episodes there are?
How many?
14,884 episodes.
Dang, man. They were just cracking them out every
Cranking 'em
day.
out.
It's the
Since
days of their
19
lives, man.
It came out in 1965. They have 59
way.
episodes of the Days of Our Lives.
Wait, 1965. So you have to be
1960.
going all the way. You have, oh man, you got to be
Dude.
starting.
You know what we gotta do? We
Gotta
gotta binge
stream
watch
them.
it. All 14,884 episodes.
You're never gonna know
And
what's
they're
happening
counting every
unless you
single
watch
week.
every single episode. It was probably every single day they had a new episode. They probably recorded the day before and then did all the editing the night of, and then posted it the day after. It was
Literally
probably
came out. There's March 4th. They're an hour long. March 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 11th, 12th.
that's the thing with soap operas. I don't know how you can keep up with it because it just goes from one character story to another character story to another character story. There's so many character stories in soap operas. I have no idea how one woman, I guess it can't be just women. Maybe men are. I haven't met a man who's really into soap operas, but how you can keep up with so many character stories in just 1 hour. I don't know. But guys, thank you for listening in on the Goof and Goober Show. If you haven't already, can you do us a favor? Drop a follow. Maybe like the video. Maybe like or rate the podcast on whatever you're listening on. Let us know what you're listening on too. And we'll be sure to reply to your comments on anything you guys want to talk about. We want to know what you guys are listening to and wanting to for us to review or anything like that. But guys, we're also on the old social medias, Facebook, YouTube. Not really a whole lot on YouTube. We do our podcast on YouTube, but Instagram, all that fun jazz. Drop a follow us on there. Currently, let me pull this up right now because Matthew and I are still in the hunt. I don't even know if I can log in. Yeah, I know. Yeah, whatever. Let me go on my
What?
phone.
Instagram?
How many followers do we have on Instagram?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. We need to create more content because I think if we create more content, we will get more followers. I think. We have 87 followers
Right.
total.
Right.
So we're down from our previous view count. We were at 88.
We
but
were
I
at
think that would have
89. We're
been-
just losing them left and right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to have a content strategy in play. The problem is that we just have a lot going on, guys.
It's true.
We have a lot going on. Not only are we podcasters, but we're also workers and providers of our family. We have to be the breadwinners. It's what we are. It's what we're about. And the only way to do that is to work. Right, Regan?
Work. I don't know that song. But yeah, we're hard men. We are men who work hard. And man, do
And
we
hardly
work hard.
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are some days, I will say this. There are some days that I hardly work. Like, there are some days. I've had a couple days.
Just I agree. There's been some days where I just don't really want to do anything
I
right
just
now.
do nothing.
But guys, if you are also in the market for anything specific, I'm talking about maybe some headphones. Guys, look right here. You can get some free headphones online, $50. Let's see if it's can ship to you. Ooh, guys, you have to do a local pickup, right? It's a door pickup. Sorry, guys. But guys, look at these mint condition Astros. Uh, totally works. They're also these are a what do you call these, Matthew? Like they uh
Souvenir.
souvenir? No, they've been
Okay.
used like a prop. Uh
Statue.
no, what am I thinking?
Collectible.
Yes, it's a collectible. That's what I'm thinking. These were used by one of the Goof and Goober Show associates leads, in it has been featured multiple times on the Goof and Goober Show, multiple times. So if you guys are really interested in some new headsets, guys, go out there, send a message to Kylie letters Kylie letters, and make sure you let them know that who sent you. So make sure you do that.
Oh, thanks, man.
Just
Thanks.
a little something, trying to get
Can't
help
wait.
help a friend out, help a
Mm.
friend out. Yeah, it is. Man.
I think I
Um,
paid $50 for him too, so just sell him for what I bought him for.
Matthew got a haul this week. He was very excited about this, and he made sure to let me know about it. And he's really excited to show you guys. So, guys, I am going to hand it over to Matthew to show off his local haul.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this will be local technically, but we'll
This
call
true.
it a local haul. It came to my house, but I have been on a Lord of the Rings Hobbit kick lately for some reason. I've been not playing video games and just watching movies. So all last week, I probably watched like 20 movies and watched part of The Boys. Almost finished that TV series. But Lord of the Rings has been a big one. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I did was bought myself a book set for the Lord of the Rings. This nice book set. It's gonna go on the shelf. For those of you who don't know, you'll see here on the picture. For those of you who are on the podcast, you won't be able to hear it or see it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove these pictures, and then I'm going to put another shelf up here, all for Lord of the Rings. Oh my gosh, I forgot I have another freaking haul. Oh man, one haul. It's just one. It's
Oh
right.
no! Of course it is, and he's got to go grab it right off his freaking treasure chest. Oh no!
This haul is pretty freaking sweet. And Regan might be a little jealous,
I won't be.
but it's Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade Revenge for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Complete in freaking box. Look at how beautiful that looks. The only reason I got it was because I got it on a deal. And in the next week or two, X-Men 97 comes out. So I had to get it. I saw it. I bought it. And I'm an impulse buyer. It's unfortunate.
Wait, X-Men 97. Tell me more about that, Matthew, because I'm curious. I don't know a whole lot about that.
Yeah. So back in the day, for those of you who don't know, X-Men was a TV series. It was a cartoon TV series back in the day. And I grew up on the TV show. So it came out like 1990 to like 2000 or something like that. I'm looking it up right now. You can watch it on Disney Plus right now. It's got all of the episodes on there. But it's essentially like one of the first cartoon Marvel TV shows I ever watched growing up. And now X-Men 97 is going to be the reboot of the series, continuing from where it left off, if I'm not mistaken. So upgraded graphics, new story, and I'm really, really freaking excited. So
Oh,
oh yeah.
yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a good show. Or so check it out. It's really really good classic 90s show. So if you liked Batman Beyond, if you liked Spider-Man back in the day, it'll be the same kind of graphic style, storytelling style. So you'll like it. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. I mean, I watched X-Men 97 too. But I didn't know they were bringing it back actually. That's a whole new news to me actually. I have not been keeping up really
Yeah,
at
it
all.
looks really good.
Matthew, real quick question actually. Have you heard of The Gentleman? It's a Netflix series.
I have not.
My wife and I started watching that yesterday. Pretty good. It's with Theo James. He's actually in X-Men 97, the new series. I don't know what he's playing in it, but it's basically kind of a mixture. How do I put it? Of Breaking Bad and it's a new twist kind of on Breaking Bad. What else? What else is it a combination of? Breaking Bad and maybe Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know. Um, it's a good series.
How is it like Avatar in the Last Airbender?
This story is kind of like Avatar. Nothing like specifically about like earthbending or anything like that. The magics or the five
Gotcha.
kingdoms or anything like that. But it's more of the story of Aang, and the whole story that follows. They just go on these quests but there's one final quest that they're trying to figure out. And each episode is basically a new quest, or he's got feats that he's got to figure out. You meet somebody and then they're like, hey, can you do this for me? And if you do this for me, I'll give you this. I don't know what you but yeah, and it's pretty interesting. My wife loves it. And one of the things that she loves about, well, my beautiful wife, I should say, she doesn't like anything cartoons. Like it can't. It's not a grown up thing. It's like it's for children if it's cartoons. I completely disagree with her on that, obviously. But you know, what can you do? But this is one of the shows that we can watch and we enjoy together. What'd you say?
I said she hasn't watched Invincible. Invincible's like
it's not
that is
for
not
for kids. That's 100% sure. But today is March 11th. Big things. We talked a little bit in the pre-show about things that are happening around the NFL. Big moves happening around, most notably for us as Minnesota Viking fans. Kirk Cousins is no longer a Viking, but an Atlanta Falcon. But if you guys want to hear our opinions on that, guys, show up to the pre-show every Monday at 8. Today, we kind of went a little later because of technical difficulties, but we usually start right around 8. So show up if you want to indulge yourself in those conversations with us. Other than that,
big news here. Sorry to pause you. I apologize, Regan, but the Cincinnati Bengals have released Joe Mixon from their team.
Is that a potential landing spot for the Vikings?
I think that's a potential landing spot for the Vikings, or the Dallas Cowboys or the Texans. So I think the Vikings have to give a decent offer. But again, I think before we ever get a running back, we need to get a freaking quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So before we spend any of our budget, in the cap space before they spend their budget in cap space, is that they got to go get a quarterback.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Vikings need to hone in on a quarterback right now, and that's a huge void right now that they're missing for next season if they want to compete at a high level. Anyways, other news going around the world right now. Well, I heard about this the other day. The P Diddy trials. Have you heard of what's going on with
P Diddy trials
or lawsuit? I
going
should
on
say
the
lawsuit.
P Diddy lawsuit.
Yeah, dude, it is crazy. It is the next Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein thing. Basically, what I've heard this through like a YouTube thing, but I looked it up and it's kind of going on right now still. It's not fully like nothing's happening right now. Like it's just a lawsuit. Nothing has been like we're convicted
So it's
or
all just
right now. But what they're alleging is that P. Diddy would get people like drunk or get them all like doped up on something and make them do something crazy like doing things with minors, and then they would record it and then they would use that as blackmail to have them do things, and these are higher up people. So and this is what I've heard. I haven't really read anything specific on this, but that's what he would do. He would basically convince them to sleep with him. So it wasn't women though. It was men. And it's funny because I think about this.
You think about men all the time? Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, sorry.
There's a
You didn't
video of
finish.
him and Justin Bieber and him calling out Justin Bieber like, "Hey, why haven't you reached out to me?" Let me see. Justin Bieber. Yeah, like he's like a groomer apparently. That's what they're saying, and he's reached. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Justin Bieber, P. Diddy, Justin Bieber, awkward video. I believe there's a. Yeah, there it is. Here it is. Let me show you. This. This is on freaking the old thing. So he's grown up. Justin Bieber, P. Diddy they were close. You'll see that, but here Diddy asked him where they haven't hung out in a while. So let me make sure my sound's on too. I gotta do an entire screen. Yeah, I gotta do entire share. Okay, here. Okay, here we go.
Excuse me.
Everything's good. Selling out arenas and everything. Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
That is really awkward.
It is super awkward. And then there's a one where he's like not even 15. He's like 15 in this. This is like a couple of years before that video that I just showed you.
Mhm.
Uh,
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you
no
rock.
doubt they like
Right
dressed
Yeah,
up for
yeah,
this.
it's gonna be yours. So every time you come in LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, go get the front shot.
Man.
Right there now. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down there, you gotta, you know.
This is
wear your
just.
seat
I mean,
belt
I'm
and everything.
15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right.
No,
16.
You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow
All
down. Let's slow down, Josh.
Okay.
Let's slow down,
One
okay?
step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you know,
That hand
you
on
get
him
16.
a little
you good
too
to go.
long there,
Yeah.
P. Diddy. Licked his
And then
lips.
when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing.
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
I don't know if I want to even finish that.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway,
that's
so
just,
that
to me that just that's just weird, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's weird.
it is weird, and it's like the video I was watching yesterday. It's just kind of confirming what we've already known about what's going on in Hollywood. There's some wacky stuff going on in there. Never known really specific what it was, but like this kind of confirms a little bit. I mean, like I said though, before this he hasn't been convicted of anything. But it's just
Yeah, so
the
we
thing,
can't make any conclusions, but it is still weird.
right?
So we're not coming after you. We're not spreading
Propaganda.
We're not, creating defamation. Just
It's just a little
just
weird.
making a comment on something.
Yeah, it's just a little weird if you
It's
ask
just a little
me.
weird.
Anyways, well, let's get into Kung Fu Panda. This is gonna be an interesting episode, for sure. Matthew, you watched all three before coming and watching the fourth one. And then
Mhm.
you brought your daughter with. Didn't tell me about that.
Oh, sorry.
And your wife with. Didn't tell me about that either.
Mhm.
But let's dive in. You good with that? You good with that?
Yeah,
Or did
let's-
you want to explore anything else with the current events that's going on in the world today? Huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, big news here at
The
at
Goof and Goober Show.
Show is I am now one of the assistant offensive line coaches now for Crown College
That's
football.
right. Congrats,
I am
big
no
dog.
longer the freaking running backs coach, which let
It's
me
about
tell you
time.
what. Let me tell you what. It was kind of bittersweet, but once I got back into the room, got on the board, started doing some O-line stuff, looking at the plays, watching film is different. So it just felt good to be back into my element. So I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Me, Coach Green, Coach Franz, we're gonna absolutely crush it with this group.
And
top tier O-line group.
yeah,
sure.
that's interesting. It's taken them this long to put you in with the O-line. That's one of the things that I didn't really understand a whole lot. I mean, hey, I'm not a coach, I'm not like
Sure.
head coach, but it just didn't make sense to put Joe Yates in the O-line. I mean, not to say anything against Joe Yates. Oh gosh.
Oh no, Joe's gonna listen to this. Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Joe. But I mean, to put him, but him over you was kind of I didn't understand. Because you seem to understand the offense a lot better, and you were playing a lot of doing these calls, especially like from the outside. It looked like you had a lot more input into the game that Joe did. And that's something that I didn't really understand a whole lot. Not to put anything against Joe or anything like that. I just think you have in one of those. I think you have an elite football mind compared to everyone else on the team. I think you are up there with the head coaches. But and to put you at running backs is, I mean, somewhat of a disgrace to you. If you ask me, because running backs it's not that hard to coach the running backs. I don't think it is. I think Coach Bo, the guy who was mine or yours and ours running backs coach when we were playing, he wasn't that good of a coach. You didn't have to do a whole lot. I mean, you just get behind some O-line and then just find a hole and hopefully it works. And luckily we had some pretty good running backs though that were pretty athletic. And so that's the thing with being a running backs coach is you just need an athlete. You don't need to really teach them a whole lot. You just need an athlete. You do need to coach a little bit. Just, hey, hit the hole. But I don't know. I think that was a little bit of a disgrace to you of just putting you at
now I will say I will give credit. Okay. And I, when it comes to like where I'm placed, like, if they asked me to be the receivers coach, I would be like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot and I'll do it because, I want to help the team win. Do I know anything about it? Not really. I've never really played receiver.
Right.
So like, and I never really played running back all too much. Right. But you are right in the fact that running back in our system was extremely, extremely easy. Right. For me, it was more of teaching mindset is really what I had to I had to really teach, because a lot of these guys come from places where they were some of the best football players on their team, and they could just run one way, run to the sideline, catch the edge, and score. Right. But in college, that's not the case. We just want any yards we can with running the ball, and that's downhill, fighting and scratching for every yard. And traditionally, running to the sideline in college doesn't really work unless you're really, really fast, which we didn't have. We didn't have those guys. So I think it's going to be nice for me to go back to the O-line. I think what I'm going to be able to instill into these guys is confidence. I think that's something that I bring to a lot of these
100%.
players, is that they're going to feel confident in what they're doing. But that confidence is also going to create a nasty behavior in how they play, which is what we need. Personally.
Oh, 100%. Real quick, not to get off topic of this, because I do want to talk about that and what you're talking about with receivers, but huge shout out to Isaac Evanson on his brand new baby boy. Congrats, big dog, big supporter of the show, Isaac. He should be on now soon since he's had the baby. But congratulations, big dog, Isaac, with the baby boy. Let's go. Let's freaking go.
Congratulations, big dog.
But to kind of go with receivers, at least with receivers, what you're talking about, it's a lot easier to coach running backs. But in this system, I feel like with receivers, it's a lot more difficult because you're having to read coverages a lot better, a lot more than what you would do in a normal playbook. Because a lot of playbooks are just you run this route and just run that route.
Depth. If they're inside shade, you just run it this way.
Right. But you really have to know the coverages in this system. So I think receivers would be a little bit more to you than running backs. Not to say, you can't be a good running backs coach, but it's hard to be a bad running backs coach in that system. I don't know.
Yeah. It's really difficult. It'd be like being a receivers coach for a triple option team. Right. Like it's kind of in that way, but I will say I did learn this last season. I learned a lot more about coverages and defenses and what the routes look like, and
Mm-hmm.
you know why our quarterback takes a 3-step drop and a half roll and the rhythms. And I learned a lot of stuff being in that skill room that I really had never touched beforehand. Um, Even when I played O-line and coached O-line, like I really didn't. O-line is just its own beast and its own thing that you kind of get separated from everything else essentially.
Yeah.
You know, so it's nice. It was nice to learn. It's nice to be back though. It's nice to be back in the roots. You know, when they were talking, they were like bringing up like this power and counter and bringing up all these different schemes, and they were like, are you getting this? Are you understanding it?" I'm like, "Yeah, we ran this stuff. Oh yeah, just a slight adjustment, like one thing, I could call this game right now. Like I could go out there and play it and be successful with what you guys are doing." So I
And
felt really good.
I think you guys switching to more of a pass or not a rush, a running, it's going to help you tremendously.
Oh
I think that's going. I think yes, passing is going to help you, and I think you guys really want to be a passing team, which is fine. But you know, I think focusing a lot on the run is going to help tremendously. But I also I saw something. We do need to review Avatar: The Last Airbender, dude. We both watched it.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not happy with what happened with, or not happy with what they did with this series. I think they really need to get something straight, something going. I don't know. Anyways, but we that's just gonna be down the line. Also, guys, big shout out. I know I said we were gonna go live and talk about Kung Fu Panda, but I wanted to say, you know, I am now a semi-pro football player now. Back at it, dude.
Oh, back at it.
I am here. I'm freaking ready to go.
Wow.
This last Saturday, I got to go work out with the team. And it's interesting, dude. It's always interesting to get back into the league and see what's happening. It is weird also now that I was gone for a year, then come back, and now they want me to be pretty much the leader of this defense, which I'm not opposed to. I think it would be really good for me, just individually, personally, to be more of a leader and take on that leadership role and what that really means to be that on the field. Of course, I was a team captain in college. Matthew and I were, but this would take us on a different leadership more so, because I feel like I really need to make plays where I am. Where in college, I really just needed to be one guy. But here, I think I really have to make plays. It's basically playing the quarterback. My role is on the defense. I am basically the quarterback. I need to know what everyone's doing at all times. And so that's kind of the leadership role I'm taking on. So that'll be fun. It's going to be fun, I believe. So anyways, let's get into this. Freaking Kung Fu Panda 4. After Po is tapped to become the spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace, he needs to find and train a new dragon warrior. While a wicked sorceress plans to resummon all the master villains whom Po has vanquished to the spirit realm. This is directed by Michael Mitchell, Stephanie Stein. Writers include Jonathan Abel, Glenn Berger, Darren Lemke, and it's bringing back Jack Black, Bryan Cranston, James Hong. Who else? I think, they say Seth Rogen. I don't know about that. It's what's his the guy? Oh, it's not showing it. What's his name? Yeah. Where is he?
They bring in
Master Po.
Akawakafina.
Where's Master? Who plays Master Po?
Poe, Master
No,
Oh.
Master Shifu.
Master Shifu doesn't say on here.
What the?
It doesn't say.
Well, I have his face and everything in. Golly.
Shifu, Dustin Hoffman.
Yes, I think I should. Yes, Dustin Hoffman's back in it. It brings back a lot of characters, but there's some missing characters in this. That includes Jackie Chan, Angelina Jolie, Seth Rogen, and Lucy Liu.
Seth Rogen plays Mantis.
But I don't think we ever heard him in this.
No,
They didn't. They specifically left them out in this whole thing. At the very beginning was basically, Mantis is out doing his own thing. Monkey's doing on his own trip. Tigress, Viper. He basically also David Cross isn't in this. Sorry. All the Fantastic Five or whatever they said, the Magnificent Five, they were gone, nowhere to be seen in this. So if you're looking to see or hear your favorite kung fu person, Jackie Chan,
I'm sorry,
he's
but
gone.
you
He's
don't
not
get
here.
it.
That okay. Anyways,
Mr.
Matthew,
Beast also
Yeah,
stars in as Panda Pig.
I saw that and I didn't know who Panda Pig was. I was thinking about it. He did play that major of a role to make me think, oh, that's
He did
Mr.
an
Beast.
audition. He did the audition for the Dragon Warrior
Mr.
at the
Beast?
beginning. Panda Pig. We'll get into the spoilers here in
Anyways,
just a little bit.
Matthew, give us your rating of Kung Fu Panda 4. Non-spoiler.
Non-spoiler. So this is a Kung Fu Panda movie. Okay.
Yep.
This movie doesn't freaking blow me into oblivion,
Mhm.
and it doesn't blow my socks off. It's nothing crazy. It is a standard Kung Fu Panda movie. Okay. You get what you get. It's funny. There's jokes. There's Jack Black. There's some funny moments, some cool moments. Overall, it's an okay movie. I
Mhm.
definitely think that it's watchable. I'm not gonna rate it extremely high. It's gonna be like a 3.8 for me. Like a 3.8. You know, it's watchable. It's not gonna blow you away, but it's good. It was funny at times. There were quirks and moments that you're like, huh, that caught me off guard. That was pretty funny. But then there were moments there was like, really? So yeah, that's my rating. I give it a 3.8. Definitely go take a look at it. Again, it's not gonna blow your socks away, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, so this for me myself, I am very disappointed in this Kung Fu Panda. I think the very first 3 movies of Kung Fu Panda were amazing. I loved each one. I think they did a new thing in each one that made you really keep you on your seat, I guess is what I would say, on knowing who Poe is and understanding his character development. This one seems just like they copied everything. There wasn't anything new in this movie. Every comedy scene you saw in the previews. There wasn't anything new that was like comical that you're like, oh, that was actually funny. I didn't see that in the previews. So I'm kind of disappointed in that. It's like you said, it's just like all the rest. It's the same story. They didn't try anything new. Obviously, like we said, he's trying to find a new Dragon Warrior. I don't think it really developed his story a whole lot. I mean, obviously they're moving on with a different Dragon Warrior now, but I don't think this is a good movie for Kung Fu Panda, the Kung Fu Panda Sega. Obviously, it's more for kids, and I'm a grown adult trying to critique a animated child's movie, kids movie. But
Yeah, so
I mean,
you sound like a massive dick right now. So I'm just
Yeah.
letting you-
you cannot believe you guys.
I cannot
But
believe
I
it.
mean, kids like the same things over and over again. But I mean, each though this is the thing. Each one, everybody learned a new. He like Kung Fu or Poe learned a new move. Um, there was no real new moves that Poe learned. I guess that could be different. That they kept something out. But Kung Fu Panda 3 was about finding his father. Kung Fu Panda 2 was learning more about his past, that he wasn't adopted. And then Kung Fu Panda, the first one, was just about him becoming the Dragon Warrior. And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, are we going to
if you're expecting let's just say this to keep it kind of simple. If you're expecting it to blow you away, this isn't the movie for it.
Yeah.
This movie's not gonna do it. It's gonna be funny at times. It's gonna be goofy, obviously, and it's gonna be a kids movie. I mean, I think that's what
pretty
made
good.
Kung Fu Panda good. But in the end, yeah, I mean, us as adults and us going to see a movie, we weren't blown away by it. But I know that the kids are gonna love this movie. They're gonna think it's hilarious.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there was one kid that was sitting next to us. This is just the whole time. It was even just. I leaned over to Matthew like, I cannot stand this kid. Whoa. Anyways, so let's get into a little bit of the spoilers here. We're going to run our spoiler warning. Here you go.
Hey there, Goof and Goober fans. Before we dive into the episode, we want to give you a heads up. Spoilers ahead. This message is equipped with our official Goof and Goober Show rating system, so you know just what you're getting into. Come on, follow along. 5-star, a must-watch. Prepare for a roller coaster of emotions, jaw-dropping twists, and laughs that will leave your sides aching. These are game changers. Then we have a 4-star. This is entertaining. While not quite a life-altering experience, these movies and TV shows are popcorn recommended. 3 stars, average and not groundbreaking. A decent movie or episode that will still deliver the goods. It's worth a watch for dedicated fans. 2 stars, room for improvement. These movies or TV shows have their moments but fall short of our standard. And of course, 1 star, proceed with caution, buckle up. These are trash. Well, now that you know our rating system, let's jump in.
Okay, guys, you know the rating system now after we rated it.
Humbly rated it.
Guys, this is also there's some new characters. I forgot to mention this. There are some new characters that they introduced. Ki Hui Kwan, who we know from Loki, and he also was in Everything Everywhere All at Once that we just watched the other day or the other week or whatever. How many weeks ago we said we watched that?
Couple weeks ago.
Viola Davis. What?
Couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. And Aquafina. That's not her name. No way is that her name, dude.
It's her name. It's her name, dude. Aquafina.
What?
Yeah. Dude, that's her name, dude.
Who named?
Dude, she has been okay. So first off, she has been in like so many movies.
Mhm.
By the way, recently, like she's popped off the charts with being in movies, like a lot of voice acting movies. So she was in. I'll pull it up. So she was in Cha-Ching, right? So you saw that one.
Yep.
Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yep.
Raya and the Last Dragon. Migration. that came out earlier, last year.
Okay.
Jumanji to 2019. The Little Mermaid in 2023. She was in Angry Birds. She was in The Storks, the SpongeBob movie. I mean, she was in a lot. She's in a lot of
Yeah,
movies.
I have been noticing her a lot more. I mean, do you find her humorous at all, though?
I thought she was funny in Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. Excuse me. Shang-Chi. Why'd say Shang-Chi?
Chong-ching?
Shang-Chi. She was good in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
And she does okay in Raya the Last Dragon. She's not like super funny in my opinion, but she's okay. I thought her funniest one that I've seen is Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Well, also noticeable is Ian McShane as Tai Lung coming back to come back from Kung Fu Panda 1, where he played the whatever his name is, Tai Lung.
Tai Lung.
Tai Lung. Do you how do you feel, first off, let me ask this. How do you feel about them not bringing back the majestic, the Fantastic Five, or whatever the five of the Jackie Chan, Angelina Jolie, Seth Rogen,
Oh
who
yeah,
else
yeah.
was it?
So
Lucy Liu and David Cross. How do you feel about that?
well, first things first. So I read an article about it. They use that as a um I'm pretty sure they used it as a marketing tool. That's what they used it for. Marketing came in, they said, "Hey, we need to have the Furious 5 come in at the end." Like that's so for me, and again, we talk about this with a lot of movies. There's a lot of movies with a cash grab, right? That's what they use it for.
Right.
So I think this was a cash grab for the future of what they're doing, saying, "Hey, we're going to bring back the miraculous or is it the Furious 5? Is that
Yeah,
what
the
that
Furious
is?
Five sounds way better than what I said.
The Furious 5. Yeah, it's the Furious 5 Kung Fu Panda. Um they weren't actually supposed to be in this movie at all.
In Kung Fu Panda 4?
Yeah, they weren't supposed to be in this movie at all.
They weren't.
Yep. And because they wanted to, and I'm just reading it here, they wanted to expand the world itself. Because they were saying that the roster started getting really crowded, having the Furious 5, then adding in, Shifu. They're adding in a bunch of, all of the different stuff. So they were gonna plan to not have it, but then marketing said, "You know what? Add it." So I don't know. For me, I think it's okay. Did I want them to show up? Sure. But I understand why the director decided not to have them in there at the beginning, because this is a story about Poe taking that next step in life, right? Not being complacent with what he's currently doing or where he's at, but saying, "Hey, let's take it to the next level." Right? Like, you're done with this particular part of your life. Let's move on.
Right.
And this just kind of reopens that a little bit. Like, takes the attention off the growth between Poe and Aquafina's character, whatever it is. I can't remember the name.
Well, the thing that made Kung Fu Panda so good was because the Furious Five. I don't like that relationship between them is what also helped make Kung Fu Panda. I don't think taking away those characters, I think, was a bad decision for I know they want to expand it. I just don't think I think it was a bad decision for the marketing team, because people wanted to watch it because of some reason, because of the Furious Five. You got Jackie Chan. who like was an actual martial art. He isn't a martial artist, and that's one of the reasons why I watched Kung Fu Panda in the very beginning. Of when did this come out? Kung Fu Panda, the first one, 2008. I was 13,
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
2008.
13, 14. But that was the main reason why I really wanted to watch Kung Fu Panda is because of Jackie Chan. I freaking love Jackie Chan, and just know that he's in an animated series of Kung Fu. I loved it. And these are Poe's basically best friends. And the last time we heard about him is that he took over as being the master over them. Like he was the Master Shifu now, but now he's Master Po. So that it just doesn't make sense to me why they would do that. I think it was a dumb move. I don't think it's really doing them well. I mean, I haven't really checked the box office for Kung Fu Panda 4. Let's see how well they're doing.
$58 million.
Okay. It's weekend box office results. Kung Fu Panda 4 dethrones Dune. No way. There's no way. Kung Fu Panda 4 dethrones Dune 2 at box office. Another one says.
There's no way.
There's no way, dude. Well, I guess it's doing well. It doesn't make sense to me why you'd go. I mean, yes, you get Poe, but you're not getting the Furious 5. And maybe people are a little upset about that, and they were expecting the Furious 5, but realized, oh, the Furious 5 isn't in this. Anyways,
I think so. When it says dethrones Dune 2 at the weekend box office, I'm thinking it's this week in particular.
that weekend.
Yeah, that particular weekend.
Yeah.
Because there's just, I mean,
Dune 2, dude. I mean, not to get off topic with Kung Fu Panda, but Dune 2, I keep thinking about it and how good that was, dude. I mean,
in $82 million the first weekend. So
I mean,
there's
it's
zero
partially probably I'm thinking about it too much too, is because I'm reading the book right now or listening to the Audible. But I'm thinking about it and it's just like, yeah, it follows the book pretty close too. From what I'm listening to, there's some things that like they didn't do in it, but like it's pretty close. It's like Lord of the Rings type stuff, and that this is basically the Lord of the Rings series back when we were kids, but now it's live.
But now it's Dune.
It's Doom. It's Doom, baby.
Do you think that Dune? Well, I guess we're getting off topic. But quick question: do you think Dune 2 is gonna surpass Lord of the Rings in terms of the likeness and being a trilogy? Do you think it's going? I don't know. It's a tough question. Do you think it's going to surpass the Lord of the Rings in terms of best trilogy?
I mean, I don't necessarily know the ending of this, but I don't think so. The reason being I say that is because Lord of the Rings have so many relatable characters that they follow throughout the movie. Dune doesn't really have that. The main character, you really only have Paul, and that's the main character. There's not really anyone besides him that you're really rooting for. I can't really think of anyone else. But Paul seems to be the main guy. It'd be like a movie just specifically for Frodo, not reviewing Sam, his friendships with him, or Legolas and Aragorn, or Gimli, or Merry Pippin, or Gandalf. The thing that made Lord of the Rings so good, story-wise, it was really good. I mean, Dune has that for sure. It's got that story. Graphics, top of the line. As well as, but the thing is that's difference between Dune and Lord of the Rings is the character development, and the multiple characters that you can relate with. Um, and so I think that's what makes Lord of the Rings better than Dune. Not to poop on Dune at all. I think it's
Dune's good.
it's really good.
It's just really hard to beat Lord of the Rings.
It's hard to beat Lord of the Rings. And J.R.R. Tolkien does a fantastic job. He crushes it with his books, as well as
Well, crushed it. Past tense.
What's the director?
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson, yeah. He does an amazing job too with all of that. Anyways, they introduce a new character in Kung Fu Panda 4, Zen. Right away, you pretty much can conclude that she's going to be the Dragon Warrior. You're like, it's going to be the Dragon Warrior.
Yeah.
Just because it's a kids movie, it's not going to be. I don't know. I think that twist of things should have been a little bit better. Obviously, it was just like, okay, it's pretty obviously. Maybe they should have had Poe pick somebody to be the Dragon Warrior, and then he changed his mind, maybe. But I don't know. Anyways, but what did you think of the new Dragon Warrior that is going to hopefully maybe carry on the legacy of Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah. I don't know, because here's the thing. Like, for me, now that I watched a ton of movies, like, because before we started this podcast, Regan and I, we would go to a bunch of movies. We would watch a bunch of movies. Regan lived with me, so we just did a bunch of stuff together, watched a bunch of stuff. But I never looked at stuff thoroughly from a movie standpoint, from the back end to the message. Like, what are they looking for? What are they trying to push? What type of agenda they're pushing? And so there are times where I'm just like, well, I don't know, right? Because for me, if I'm not mistaken, the Dragon Warrior's never been a woman.
No, I think, like, if you go back to the Kung Fu Panda 1, Tigress was supposedly, that's what they were thinking, or at least Shifu was hoping would be the Kung Fu Panda, but she didn't. Or Master Tai, what's his face? Uguay did not choose him. Choose her, I should say. I don't know really anything about, like, past Kung Fu warriors. Because if I'm understanding it right from Kung Fu Panda 4, Uguay was previously the Kung Fu warrior, or the
Dragon Warrior.
Dragon Warrior. Or and so I don't know if he was or wasn't. I don't know too much about the story of Kung Fu Panda or even the Dragon Warrior, of the descendancy of the Dragon Warrior, or if there even was one, because it seemed like there wasn't before. It never really talked about it too much. Maybe you missed some. Maybe you caught up onto something that I didn't. But
I don't know. I'm not making any. Look, I'm not making any statements on it other than that's just what I thought. Previously, because you are right. I mean, when you say Uguay, I thought Uguay was the previous Dragon Warrior. That's what I also thought previously. But starting this podcast for you guys that watch movies is like, at least for me, it makes me think about the message so much more. Like, what message are they trying to show? So for me, I was like, okay, this could be really cool. But then it's like, okay, well, what type of message are they trying to send? Right? Like, what is it going to look like moving forward? Is it going to turn out to be a Barbie fest where all they do is, now that there's a woman Dragon Warrior, is it going to turn into, feminist propaganda? Like, what, that's also something you have to think about. So for me, I thought it was pretty cool. I think Zen could be a really good Dragon Warrior potentially in the future. I think that she the story that she had was obviously similar to Poe's because it was meant to be. They purposely made their stories be very similar in the fact that she was adopted, she lost her family, she was picked up and brought in by somebody, and she was raised by another individual, same as Poe. So they really set it up and teed it up pretty well. What I'm more like hesitant about is like where do you go from here, because the show's
Yeah.
not going to be Kung Fu Panda anymore.
Right.
What is it going to be?
Yeah.
Kung Fu Coyote? Like Kung Fu Coyote, Kung Fu Wolf, or whatever it is. Where does this show go? And are we done with Jack Black's portrayal uh as Poe? Are we like where do we go from here? You know? And I think that's where I'm more concerned with. It's not necessarily who becomes the Dragon Warrior. It's like what happens next. Right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, I mean, we grew up on this movie. I mean, yes and no. Like later in our young age, sure, like 14. Um, but it's a significant enough character that you're like, I wonder what really happens next, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, so I wanted to ask a question too because in this movie, uh, Lee or Brian, the guy who plays Poe's father, and then where's his name? His other father, um, Mr. Ping.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
they call themselves fathers, and so do you think there's a hidden I was thinking about it too because that was one of the things that was kind of weird for me listening to them. This like we're his father, like we're his dads. um you think there was anything behind that? You think that's a good thing in some ways because it's not necessarily they are homosexual or in any way, they're just that's his the dad that adopted him and then his biological dad. There's no romantics in that at all. I mean,
no,
obviously, I think that's okay, but I don't
no,
know.
they definitely okay. So I'm glad that you brought this up because that again, we watch so many movies that we have to look at like all of the message, and that was one of the things I brought up to Regan when we were watching. I was like, they keep saying we're fathers together, which in the surface level, right, that's totally fine if you have a stepdad and your real dad and they're actual like good friends. um you know I would hope that you two are really close, and if you guys can be best friends, great. And, if you care about your son, great. Like that I'm not against.
Right.
What I was more concerned about with that whole regime is that they made it seem like they were kind of like husband and wife, essentially,
Yeah.
together. What this wasn't two dads from separate backgrounds with separate wives making sure their son was okay. These were two guys who are below masculinity coming together and saying, we're basically married in this way,
Yep.
and we're going to go protect our son. So yes, I do think that there was some propaganda there in what they're saying, right? Because usually when you think of like masculinity, right, you think of, an individual who's brave and strong and someone who's not afraid of the dark, or a lot of different characteristics. Not that that's not that's the only way a man can think,
Right.
right? But that's what was, I mean, that was portrayed in the movie as, you know, these guys aren't like normal men, right? Like they're not like your typical father figure type individuals. They're they're disconnected from that piece. So yes, I do think that there was some in some ways that was a message to be sent, but subtle ways. You know, I don't know. They didn't show any other mothers or fathers. You
That's
know,
true.
they didn't show any of that. Like a mother figure. We haven't seen. And I don't remember what happened in the third one when Poe's dad finally showed up. But I where did the wife come
Right.
from? Where is she?
Well, there was, I believe, in that Kung Fu Panda 3, they did have some type of romantic thing with Poe. If I remember correct, I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, there was some type of girl in that tribe that really liked Poe, and Poe didn't want anything to do with her. Um,
Yeah, May May or something like that.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, I agree. There's got to be something there. I think it was just kind of seemed like they were trying to say, hey, it's okay to have two dads. Um,
Oh
and
yeah,
like,
it's May May. It's May May. But what I'm talking about is for the dad. The dad
yep,
just randomly shows up but he doesn't have a wife, right? But now these two dads they basically live under one household, but they treat it as if like one's the husband, one's the wife
mhm,
the entire time. Like the
yep,
goose is the wife, and the father's the father essentially, right? So that's how
yep,
they painted it. They painted it in that way.
yep.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think they did were pushing something there. Uh, Last thing I want to talk about is the chameleon. How did you feel about the chameleon and how they portrayed her, and then kind of the final scene with fighting the chameleon? I mean, did you like that? Basically, Poe she trapped Poe in basically a indestructible cage that he can't punch through, and then you find out afterwards, oh, he could get out and he could fight her, but he just wanted Zen to fight her. Is that something? Were you okay with that? Was that too much? Was that kind of like? It kind of seems like you guys are taking a shortcut out of this.
Um, Again, this is a kids movie,
Right. Kids
so
movie.
the more complex this fighting scene is, the harder it is for these kids to understand.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
so I think the simplicity was supposed to be that way. I think that's what it was meant to be. I think them just randomly showing up, or the sorcerer, whatever her name is, the chameleon, randomly showing up, and you know Poe just willingly hands over the staff, right? Like, I think is just I don't know if it's lazy writing, other than the fact that it's writing to the people who you expect to watch
Yeah.
the movie, right? It's not like Dune. It's not like Lord of the Rings. It's not like any other movie that we are watching, other than the fact that there's fighting. This is meant for kids, so I think it was good from an adult perspective. Obviously, I would have wanted more, right? Like it kind of just jumped right into it. Like, hell, oh, here's the staff, in Merry Christmas, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I'm evil, and I've been working with the chameleon the whole time, and and then they have the whole battle, and she comes back, and comes back to the it'd be like the Anakin coming back to the light side immediately after, like,
Yeah.
cutting someone's head off, right? Like it's kind of like one of those ideas. She just stole the staff that controls, you know, the chameleon accessing the spirit world, steals it. Poe gets, breaks out, and then she goes and chases him, and and essentially, you know, was like, "I'm so sorry, I apologize." And now she's the dragon warrior, right? Like after everything's all said and done, like, yeah, it's lazy writing, but I think it's for
It's for kids.
for kids. Um,
Yeah. I think, yeah, for sure. I'm 100% on board with that. Yeah, it was lazy writing. We wish they could have done a little bit more. But I'm an adult. This is made for kids. And I completely understand that. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I grew up with this though. I think that's the thing. I mean, 2008 was what, 16 years ago. The kids who probably were watching it were 8 years old, which means the kids that loved Kung Fu Panda back then are
Are still
24
watching
years
it.
old. Maybe try to keep up with maybe the 24-year-olds have kids. I don't think a whole lot of 24-year-olds have kids. 24, 25, 26-year-olds are people that have kids. And so that's the problem I might be having with this, is that I think their audience size is, I guess, but it's still for kids. I don't know.
It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
I think so. Look, and I get what you're saying. I think the route that they took was the right route, because in the end, right? Like, I would hope that every adult that watches this is like, they realize and say, "Oh, okay, it's a kids movie, right?" So I've got to put a little bit of my feelings behind me and saying, you know what, just gonna have to, take what's given at this point, right?
Yeah.
Although it's not the exact, thing that we're looking for, which I agree with you on. I think the route that they took was, the best route, because if not, then it becomes disingenuous, right? Like, imagine if they were saying, okay, well, let's cater to our 24-year-olds and have Poe, get his head chopped off, right? Like, that would just be like, whoa, that's weird. You know what I mean? Um, so I think the route that they went was good. Could they have spiced it up a little bit? Absolutely. But I think it's also free money for them, right?
Yeah.
They didn't need to make a Kung Fu Panda 4. They didn't. It's not necessary. They have
No,
a
I
TV
agree.
show. They have all 3 of the movies beforehand. This was just, hey, we love Jack Black, and by all means, I think Jack Black absolutely crushed it. I think Jack Black's always funny, no matter what.
Yeah.
It,
I
it,
agree.
it it's just, it's a kids movie, and it will always be a kids movie at the end of the day. What I didn't like for me is the chameleon. To me, just was not. It just was not an interesting character at all.
I think a lot of it is too, like, they didn't follow a whole lot of that backstory. I think in the previous ones we heard a little bit more about their backstories. Um, with the guy who stole the chi, and then the peacock, and then Tai Lung. I think
Yeah.
we learned a lot more about their backstory, but in this one we're not learning about the chameleon's backstory. We're learning about Zen's backstory a little bit more,
Yeah.
which is a different approach. But I think it's because, like you said, I think it's to expand what they already are doing right now. So it's not just based off of
Poe
what's
and the things.
Poe. There's more to it. So,
Yeah, I think it was lazy, because they kind of just said, "Oh, I was told I can't learn kung fu because I'm too small. So I'm going to become a sorcerer and steal kung fu moves."
right, that was basically it. There was no, like, who told you this? Like, if there was this person wrong, maybe is there a
Like, hey,
redemption story in that?
yeah, like, I was beat as a child, and my father sent me off to this entrapment
Military
camp,
school. Oh yeah.
and I had to fight my way out by reading
Mhm.
books on Tao Lung, and you know something of that nature would have been way better. But again, and we can go hours probably talking about
Right.
the movie. I mean, it's a good movie. Jack Black kills it, but it's a kids movie, and there's a lot of flaws in it. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. There's a lot of things that is a little preachy, but in the end, it's a kids movie.
It's a kids movie.
It's a kids movie.
It's a kids movie, dude.
It's a freaking
Well,
kids movie.
It's a kids movie, and guys, that is going to be the review of Kung Fu Panda 4. Reese Dvorak is saying hello. It is that time of the episode to say hello to Scarlett. Hi, Scarlett. Hi. But that is going to do it for our episode 4. Yep. Yes, Reese, you got in at the very end. Congrats.
The
We
last second.
very last, yeah. But we appreciate you guys listening in and showing up, even if it's for a little bit at the end. We appreciate it and hollering. Hi, Scarlett. Hi.
Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Scarlett.
Hi,
Oh,
Regan.
Oh, hi.
Ethan.
Hi, Scarlett. We're gonna say that forever. Oh gosh, how embarrassing. Oh. Also, real quick, why don't you, Scarlett, you show us your kung fu skills on the pod real quick. And then bow. Do a bow. And then
Sure, Kaylee.
perfect. It works out great.
Zen.
And that
Mm,
and that is going to do it for the Goof and Goober show, guys. Thank you for listening. We love you. Make sure you follow us on all our socials, and we will see you next week.
next week. We have a special guest next week, ladies and gentlemen. Special guest. It's exciting. Can't tell you who it is, but it's going to be a special guest.
Can't
next
wait.
week. So
Peace.
peace.
And that's a wrap on another hilarious and unforgettable episode of the Goof and Goober Show. We hope you had as much fun listening as we did recording. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our future goofiness. Join us next time as we continue to explore the weird and wonderful world of laughter and entertainment. Remember, you can always connect with us on social media and share your favorite moments using hashtag Goof and Goober Show. Until next time, stay goofy, stay goober, and keep spreading smiles wherever you go. Thanks for tuning in to the Goof and Goober Show with Matthew and Regan.